I don't really meet a lot of people that are interested in airplanes
Neither do I.
as much as I am, so but I find people every now and then, and I'm able to have a good conversation.
What's up, guys? My name is Danny, and I am a freshman at George Washington University. And this here is my roommate, Nick. Pretty awesome guy.
Hey guys.
So today we're going to be talking about aviation, of course. But this time, it's kind of interesting because it's more personal. See, both Nick and I have worked at airports. Nick has worked at Boston Airport. No, Logan.
Boston Logan International Airport.
There we go. So what was your job at Boston?
This past summer I worked for a local New England airline called Cape Air. They're based down in Hyannis, which is down on the Cape, and the airline originally started providing service to Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, and then they opened up their biggest operating base in Boston, and they now have flights throughout the Northeast. They still go down to the Cape and Islands, that's their busiest route. They go up to different places in Maine, they go throughout upstate New York, they go into New Hampshire and Vermont. They also have a Caribbean service that is based down in San Juan, Puerto Rico, that serves a lot of the British West Indies and the British Virgin Islands, and they have a base in Billings, Montana. But it's a very small airline. They operate Cessna 402s.
Wait, so you worked as a ground person, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot to talk about my job, damn. Yeah, so I basically worked on the ground operations, and the airline refers to that as being a ramp agent. Basically, responsibilities that entail that job. Walking passengers to and from the aircraft into the terminal, because the planes are so small. It's a little bit of a different flying experience. You don't walk through on a gate. And then I also do other stuff like marshaling the planes. I get to use the orange wands and help guide them in for where to park and help start them up, because the planes are not allowed to move on the ground without the assistance of another human. I did other stuff like putting bags on and off the planes and taking the weights of those bags, dropping off bags at baggage claim, dropping off bags at other airlines for interline flights for people who are connecting on other airlines. So I would drive bags over to JetBlue or American or Delta or wherever they may be going. I also was able to do a little bit of refueling, where I basically just get to drive the fuel truck around and put more gas in the wings. I was pretty busy down there.
How'd you get that job?
I applied for it online. I've wanted to have that job since I was very young, because I've flown with Cape Air for a while. I really made a detailed application, and they got back to me and they called me in for an interview, and that was that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Why do you love planes?
We would fly on these little Cape Air planes when I was very young, and those were some of my first experiences ever going on a plane that I can remember. And I always thought the way how they worked and the way how they operated was so interesting. Once I learned more about the science behind flight and the science behind aerodynamics and how the whole system actually works on an empirical level, and the more and more I learned about it, and just the older I got, I learned more about the significance that planes have had on the world. When you're actually at an airport, usually you're on the second floor when you're about to get on a plane. People have no idea what goes on downstairs on the ground floor. You have no idea how many people are working down there, how much work goes into turning an aircraft around from when a plane comes in to when a plane goes. You have no idea how big the planes are when you're actually walking down there. They don't seem as big when you're on it, but when you're down there and you're walking on the ground level, you'd be amazed at just sort of the personality that those planes have, and that you're just like among some greater presence when you're down there. Whenever I fly, I get very excited. I always like to get a window seat. I love looking out the window. I've become very familiar with different variations and different types of aircraft, but I'm always going to have a sweet spot for that special Cape Air fleet, because there's something about those planes that have a special character. And they're a lot smaller, and I really got a chance to sort of work right down there with the hardware, and I thought that was very, very amazing.
It is. You were the youngest there, weren't you?
This year, I probably was, just because 18 is the minimum age, and I think I was the only 18-year-old, so yeah, that would make me the youngest.
You just turned 19, so happy belated. How do you see yourself continuing in the aviation industry, if at all?
I thought about possibly becoming a pilot. It's not really an ideal career for me because it's a lot of traveling around. It's a very inconsistent schedule, but I definitely have thought about it. I definitely will be working for Cape Air again next summer, and hopefully the summers to follow. I really don't know where I see myself in the future regarding aviation. I sort of look at it more as a personal hobby of mine.
Do you have a favorite plane after the 402?
I like the 757 a lot, mid-sized aircraft. I'm a big fan of that. You don't really see as much of them anymore because Boeing's no longer making them.
United has some 757-300s. so long. It's amazing. So much room in there. I once flew to Hawaii on one. There were so many empty seats. One of my family and I, we all just had our own row. It was great. So I'm a big fan of 757 as well because of that.
Yeah, the 757, it's sort of, if you look at it when you're standing on the ground, you can really tell when you're standing on the ground. It still is a regular sized body plane. The traditional jet airliner is 3 aisle and then 3, which is what the 757 is.
It's a little flat.
But the 757 is much longer, first of all, and it's levitated a lot higher. It's sort of hard to tell when you're like looking at it from sitting on the plane and when you're looking at the plane from the terminal, but when you're on the ground and you see an A320, a 737, and a 757, probably the 3 most common planes you'll see in this area, you'll notice that the 757 is exceptionally taller. They have those very long winglets on the tips. It's a good looking plane. Flying is something that we take for granted. The history of flight is quite amazing. Before airplanes were around, humans never really understood the true size of our planet. Getting around the Earth wasn't really a matter of hours or days, it was a matter of weeks and months and lifetimes. It's really turned this world into a globalized place where everything is connected. It goes beyond a sense of technology because airplanes really keep us tangibly connected. It's how we're able to actually see history, see different cultures, see what goes on in other parts of the world. You look out the window of a plane and you'll see more than what a person 300 years ago saw in a single lifetime.
And with that, I will see y'all later. Have a great start to the school year. Be safe. Make the most of every day. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Thanks. I will see y'all later. Bye!